What's up, everybody? Welcome to my first video only style video on YouTube. Been releasing some podcasts out there for everyone to enjoy on YouTube for those visual people, but this one is the first time I'm actually just speaking video only. So welcome to the YouTube channel for those who are new here or those who have been watching some podcasts the past couple of weeks. My name is Matt Loopy. I'm the host of the Define Success podcast, and every single Friday you can expect new videos from me. And this first one is going to be a book review. So this was the 12th book that I finished this year. I'm up to 14 now. Going to get some new book reviews out, but this by far favorite book of 2022 so far. I don't think anything's going to top it, to be honest. This is an amazing book, and it is Endure by Cameron Haynes. On the front, it says how to work hard, outlast, and keep hammering. Keep hammering is Cam's tagline. Love it. I love what it stands for and everything. The foreword is by Joe Rogan. Love his podcast. And then the afterword or the conclusion, whatever it's called, is from David Goggins. If you've listened to my podcast, you know that I really, really like David Goggins. So all in all, just three of my favorite people all in one book. And had to pick it up right when it came out. Read it in probably 4 days. It was an amazing read. Like I said, top book for me so far in 2022, and we'll see if that can be beaten. So Cam Haynes, a little bit of background on Cam. Before I give you my three big takeaways from this book, whether you want to get the Spark Notes version or you want to read it yourself, I'll give you my three big takeaways that I learned from Cam and Endure. So first, Cam Haynes is a bow hunter, one of the most elite, probably the most elite bow hunter, crossbow hunter, whatever you want to call it, in the world. He is amazing at what he does. In the beginning of the book, he said that when people go elk hunting, experienced hunters normally have a 10% success rate. He said when he goes out, he has a 100% success rate. And he's someone who he's not hunting in a Pennsylvania that has over 1 million registered hunters. He's hunting in Colorado, Oregon, Washington, all of these states that are just rural. It is acres upon acres, and you got to run. You got to get yourself from point A to point B to even see an animal. They're not going to come to you. You can't just post up somewhere in a tree and hope that something walks by, because that's not going to happen out there. He is someone who is an ultra marathon runner. He started running because he understood that, okay, if I'm hunting in this public area that's 100 acres, 100 square acres, there's going to be someone else out there with me, no doubt about it. Maybe one, maybe two people. If I can run, if I can outlast them and get closer to that animal, get closer to the elk, the bison, whatever, closer than or quicker than the competition can, I'm going to come out with meat for me and my family, and I'm going to win the hunt. Other person won't, because they weren't prepared. So he starts training like crazy in the weight room with his running. He started running marathons, ultra marathons, just becoming an elite athlete. So when people say, oh, Cam, you're just a bow hunter, no, he's not. He does so much more than that. And he takes care of his body, and he trains so hard so that he's going to be the best one out there. He's always going to come out with some sort of animal, and his aim is just spectacular. So if you're interested in hunting, I personally have never gone hunting myself, but just learning the art of hunting was super fascinating. But he also talks about business. He talks about mindset. He talks about his relationships with other great people. So even if you don't like hunting, have no interest whatsoever, check it out. You're going to get a lot from it. So without further ado, my three key takeaways from Endure by Cam Haynes. My first one, he talks about the harder you push, the more people you leave behind. I'm nowhere close to where Cam is in life, no doubt about it. But I'm starting to see this. I'm starting to see how this is starting to prevail in my life. You know, when you have a goal in mind, when you are doing those things that nobody else wants to do, or you're doing those things that take you further than anyone else thinks they're capable of, not many people are going to follow you. Not many people are going to want to put in the early mornings or the late nights or the countless hours per day. They're going to call you crazy. They're going to look at you weird. So the harder you push towards what you want, the more people you're going to leave behind, and they're going to be gone. And you're not going to have to deal with them anymore. You kind of weed out who you want to stay with. He normally hunts alone on these long hunts that are often days long. sleeping out in tents and, just walking or running everywhere that he goes. And the reason he hunts alone is not because he wants to be alone or he doesn't like people. He's a great speaker, great individual. The reason he hunts alone is because not many people live up to his standards. Not many people that he goes out with or has gone out with before share the same passion for hunting or are of the same physical fitness level as Cam. So he says, I'm just going to do it myself. If I'm going to push this hard in this space and push my body to these limits and nobody else is going to, I'm just going by myself. I'm leaving them behind. He trains with some of the most elite athletes, trains with David Goggins. David Goggins said in this book, see if I can find it. It says it on the back. I have trained with many of the toughest and hardest men on the planet. Keep in mind, this man was a Navy SEAL. He's run a ton of endurance races in his life. And the only one that stands out is Cameron Haynes. That is powerful. David Goggins, a man that probably won't give many people credit in life because he is such a tough dude. And he's saying that the hardest man that he trained with in his life is Cam Haynes. That's saying something. This philosophy of the harder you push, the more people you leave behind is also prevalent in your mindset and your business. And your mindset, if you're someone that's going to be reading books, listen to podcasts, taking time off from the partying, the drinking, hanging out with friends, because you want to better yourself, most people won't understand that. And they're going to be left behind because you outgrew them. Also in business, if you have a big business idea and you want to pursue it, you want to go further, a lot of people, they won't follow you. They'll think you're crazy, obsessed. What are you doing with your life? And, you leave them behind. The harder you push, the more people you leave behind. That's my first takeaway from Endure. Second, here's a great quote in here. Cry in training, laugh in battle. This is so powerful to me because it means that when you work hard, when you have the time, you have the energy, it's the off season, you're always working hard, working and crying, blood, sweat, and tears during your workouts. By the time you get on the battlefield, whether it is a sport that you're playing, a business negotiation, hunting in the woods, the backcountry woods of Oregon, you're going to be laughing. You're like, this is a joke. I do this every day. This is easier than what I've been training for. Beat yourself down. Don't just slowly ramp up. And then the big event comes and you're not prepared for it. And you're like, what just happened? That's what a lot of people do in life. But if you were someone that puts in crazy amount of work and crazy amount of effort, when that big event comes, you're like, that's what I was worried about. That's what I was waiting for. That was easy. You're going to push yourself in training. So once you get on that battlefield, you're laughing. The competition, they're the ones that are clawing to get their footing, and they're going to try to make sure that they're staying alive. And you're just dominating. You're doing what you have to do. You're doing what you're supposed to do because you put the preparation in. You also want to prepare for any circumstance out there. Preparation is key, especially in hunting. He's making sure he has the gear right. He has his body right, his mind right, the route that he wants to take. Build yourself up so you can outlast the competition around you. Simple as that. The third key takeaway, I've already mentioned this, but I want to reiterate why this is so powerful. Keep hammering. Cam Haynes says, keep hammering every single day. He has merch with it. He has a hashtag that probably has millions of posts, hashtagging keep hammering. He talks about in the book that nobody cares about your goals. If you had a recent success, yesterday means nothing. You had recent failure, yesterday means nothing. Stuff that happens in your life, it doesn't matter anymore. Today is a new day. Tomorrow is a new day. You have to keep hammering every single day, no matter what you did yesterday or no matter what you didn't do yesterday. It is on you to make sure that you pick up that slack today, where you continue to build off that momentum today and keep hammering. Put in the work every single day and you'll get to where you need to be. He talks about an analogy that was in the San Antonio Spurs locker room, this lesson that they learned, and they put a quote in the locker room and it said something along the lines of, a man is hammering a stone, and strike after strike for over 100 strikes, the stone is not budging. It's not cracking. It's not splitting. It's just standing there. You're not doing anything to it. But then the one strike splits a stone in half. Keep hammering is the mindset that you understand that that big event, that splitting the stone, the big feat in your life is not because of that one strike. It's because of the 100 that came before it. It's because of that consistent work that you put in every single day. That is what split the stone. That is what led you to where you are now. Keep hammering every single day. Those are my 3 key takeaways from the book Endure by Cameron Haynes. You can get it at any bookstore. You can get it on Amazon. Highly, highly recommend checking it out. And also, he does a lot of interviews. He went on a podcast tour, went on Joe Rogan's podcast, Jocko's, Andy Frisella, Nick Bear. So make sure if you just like listen to him or listen to content, check out Cam Haynes on any podcast. Just search his name. I'm sure a ton will come up. But the thing that I like the most about this is Cam is a very humble man. He talks about it in the book. He's like, I didn't want to write this book because I didn't want to brag about myself. You know, I put in the work because I think I have to, not because I want to tell people about it. And on Joe Rogan's podcast, before this book came out, it was about a day or two before it came out, he was saying that he just wanted to share a story. He didn't expect to sell any books or make it to a New York Times best-selling author or whatever. Days after this book was released, even the day that it was released, it was on every single chart. He crushed it. So keep that in mind. Don't limit yourself. Aim for the stars, keep hammering, and you too could be on that New York Times bestselling list. You could be winning that award. You could be hoisting the championship trophy for the sport that you play. So make sure, keep hammering, work hard, and outlast the competition. That is Endure by Cameron Haynes. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a lot more books to review, have a lot more content to get out. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment. I would love for you guys to comment any books you want me to read, recommend, check out, whatever. If you have any suggestions, I'm all open ears for that. So again, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you come back every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for new videos, and follow us on Instagram at @definesuccess_pod. Peace out.